Whenever she sees one that catches her eye, she's going to go after him. And white woman, when you find yourself in between this Negro female, this black beast, and the object of her desire, the source of her wet dreams, the white man, whenever you find yourself in between her and you're blocking her path, she is going to devour you. I tried to tell y'all this. And it reminds me of the Ethiopian proverb. And y'all know I like quoting African proverbs. I'm going to quote another one in this video here. The Ethiopian proverb says, when you try to give advice to someone and they don't listen, then you let adversity teach them. When I try to tell black men, listen, man, this female is not on your team. She don't have your back. She don't have your best interest. She's not trying to help you advance. She could really give a fuck about you. When I told black men this and they didn't listen, this is the reason why I said fuck them. I'm going to let adversity teach you, because I know you're going to find out the hard way. Many of you monkeys are going to find out that what I have told you in this classic series is true. I have no reason to lie to you. I'm not gaining nothing out of telling you something that's not true. I'm trying to help your ignorant black ass, but because black men are so fucking stupid, I'm going to follow the lead of the Ethiopian proverb. When you give advice to somebody and they don't listen to you, then you let adversity teach them, because they're going to be taught. Now, white woman, you have an opportunity to listen to what I've tried to tell you. And again, for the most part, y'all have more brains than these monkeys. So obviously, you white women can actually understand what I'm trying to tell y'all. And I'm trying to show you, it is funny that it just came right into fruition. And that, like, again, that video has not even been up a month. And I'd be damned if what I have said in that classic series have not come into fruition, because I've been trying to tell y'all that this black bitch, she worships this white man. She deifies this white man. She puts him on a pedestal. He is the object of her wet dreams. And if you find yourself in between her and him, she's going to devour you, even though she at one time was your friend. And you're going to find yourself wondering, well, why? What happened? I thought we were cool. I thought we were friends. We went out and had coffee. We went out to the movies. We went to the mall together. We got our hair. So you're going to ask her all these questions, because you're going to be baffled. Because you're not going to understand, why did she all of a sudden turn into a bloodthirsty beast seeking to devour me? What happened? What did I do? This is what the typical white woman is going to ask herself when one of these black brutes come after her. Because they're going to come after you. I mean, you just got to understand this. This is the nature of the game. She is literally addicted to this white man. It's no different than a person who has an addiction to crack, a person who has an addiction to cocaine, a person who has an addiction to alcohol, whatever the source of that addiction. If that addiction is powerful enough, then what that addiction is going to do is it's going to control their decisions. It's going to control their life. So they're going to find themselves doing things that normally they wouldn't do if they were not suffering from said addiction. You got to understand this. And I put this in one of my classic videos where I talked about addictions. Because it literally is an addiction that this black female has for this white man. She is literally addicted to him, just like a person who is addicted to crack. And just like the person who is addicted to crack, they will find themselves engaging in all kinds of behavior that just doesn't make any sense. You will find them stealing from their family, stealing from their mama, stealing from their father. You will find them engaging in all sorts of debauchery just to get their next hit. And if you stand in the way of their next hit, they're going to come after you. And the only way that you can gain this understanding is that you have to understand addiction. And again, I've mentioned this in one of my classic videos, and I'm going to mention it again here, because I'm going to just literally try to tell you, white woman, that I tried to tell this Negro. I tried to warn him. The monkey didn't listen. So I'm going to let adversity teach him. Fuck him. Now again, when I say he didn't listen, that don't mean that there are some brothers who have not listened to what I said. There are some brothers who listen and have gained insight from what I've tried to say in these classic masterpieces. And they've contacted me and they told me, brother, I see what you're talking about. I thank you. You have helped me. So it's not all of them. But the majority of these shines, they don't get it. They don't understand how it can be that this black female is addicted to this white man. And just like a person who's addicted to alcohol, if that's a family member, if that's a friend, and you know that they're drinking, and you go over their house and you're trying to help them, and you find out where they have their alcohol stashed, and you take that alcohol, or they don't even have to be alcohol. It can be pills. I mean, whatever the drug is, whatever it is that they are addicted to, if you find it and you flush it down the toilet or you pour it out, they're going to fight you. You have a fight on your hands. Oh, yes, you do. This is what you have to understand about the power of addiction. You go over your brother's or your cousin's house and you trying to help them, and you see that they have alcohol in their house, and you know that they are struggling with alcohol, and you take that liquor and you pour it down the sink, you got a fight on your hands. They're going to fight you. They're going to hate you. How dare you pour out the source of my happiness? Because that's what alcohol does for them. It makes them happy. They can escape reality. They don't have to deal with their problems. So therefore, if you pour that alcohol down the toilet, they're going to look at you. You're trying to destroy my happiness. And they're going to hate you, and they're going to fight you. You have a fight on your hands. And it is no different than the black female with her addiction with this white man. If you stand in the way and try to break up that relationship, try to end that relationship, try to expose that relationship, you got a fight on your hands. She's going to hate you. She's going to want to harm you. How dare you try to mess up my source of happiness? Just like the alcoholic. This is the reason why I told y'all when I looked at that video of Alicia Keys, it didn't come as a surprise to me. And it didn't come as a surprise to me for two reasons. Number one, it didn't come as a surprise to me because I know, as I've been telling y'all, that black women worship white men. So that's the number one reason why it didn't surprise me. Number two reason why it didn't surprise me, I understand addiction. And addiction gonna have you doing some weird shit. Yes, it will. Addiction will have you taking a $6,000 watch and selling it for $20 just to get you a lick. Just to get you a bottle, just to get you some pills, just to get you some crack. Whatever your addiction. You will take that $6,000 watch and you will take it, and if somebody offer you $20 for it, you'll take it. Addiction has you doing weird shit. That's the reason why this issue with Alicia Keys did not come as a surprise to me, because I understand addiction. And I know that the Afro-American Negro female is addicted to this white man. And because she is so addicted to him, she will engage in all sorts of dysfunctional behavior, i.e. making a video flirting in front of the whole world with a married man, even though she has a husband with 2 children. The only way that you can explain this, the only way that you can make heads or tails of this, is to understand that this black bitch is addicted to that white man. He is the source of her addiction. She will run and engage in all kinds of stupid behavior just to garner attention from him. And like I told you, it doesn't make a difference, because most black women suffer from low self-esteem. And the finer the female, the lower their self-esteem. Don't worry, I'm gonna be dealing with that. It's part of the rabbit hole. It's coming. Somebody made a mention. I think it was in my public video. They asked me, well, can you elaborate on this low self-esteem of black women and how it is that the finer they are, the lower their self-esteem? It's an interesting dichotomy. Don't worry, that's coming. That's all in the rabbit hole. Because this is what you have to understand, white woman. This is what I've been trying to tell y'all. And again, like I said, I've been trying to tell black men this, but they so fucking stupid, they can't connect fucking dots. These black men are fucking ignorant. And these monkeys will sit back and they will argue and try to fuss with me. And all I've done is simply just try to point it out to this monkey. In the rabbit hole, in the warning to white women, that's all I did, is just highlight some literature that existed. And the niggas are so dysfunctional and stupid, they got upset with me. How dare you tell us this? And they didn't want nobody to highlight that for them, because they don't want to face the fact that the woman that they worship and idolize don't give a fuck about them. She really don't. I mean, can't you niggas see this shit? I mean, what more does that black female have to do in order for you black men to finally be able to understand this woman don't give a fuck about me? She has no respect for me. Fuck that. I'm going to leave her alone. What does she have to do, Negro? I mean, that video, wasn't that enough? I mean, didn't you look at that video and think to yourself, oh my God, that's some disrespectful shit? I mean, y'all couldn't digest that and see that, listen, this woman is spitting in our face. Y'all couldn't connect those fucking dots? What does she have to do? And then you have some of these monkeys who will come back and say, well, she really didn't mean it. They will sit back and they will justify her debauchery. They will sit back and they will try to make excuses for her shit. And they refuse to believe that she is serious. So the left side of their brain has convinced the right side of their brain that she was just joking. So now you'll find all these bojangling, buck dancing, weak ass black men who will run around and say, oh, she wasn't serious, she was just joking. Yuck, 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 yuck. Because they're dumb. Black men in 2016 are fucking idiots. And they wonder why I call them a tribe of dysfunctional fucking monkeys. This is what they are. This is what they have evolved into. I know you Negroes don't like this. I know that. I know y'all don't like somebody taking it and just putting your face in it. But just like the Ethiopian proverb says, when you try to give somebody advice and they don't listen, then you let adversity teach them. And that's where you're at, black man. That's where you're at when it comes down to your Afro-American queen. The adversity that you see from her, she's teaching you herself what she think about you. She's showing you herself how she feels about your ignorant black ass. This is what's going on, and you Negroes still cannot connect these fucking dots. You savages cannot see that your queen has left you a long time ago. This is not me saying that she's left. Look at her behavior. And white woman, you're next. If you don't heed my fucking warning. If you don't heed my warning and you follow suit with these bojangling, buck dancing, ignorant ass black men, you're going to find yourself in the same position as this female in this photo. Because when you are in between the object of the black female's desire, when you are the one who is blocking her path to get to her God, she is going to turn into a ravenous beast, and she's going to try to devour you. And it makes no difference if you're a co-worker. It makes no difference if y'all sing in the same choir. It makes no difference if y'all go to the same church. Y'all's children play on the same soccer team. It don't make no difference. If you stand in the way of this Afro-American Negro female and that white man, she's going to behave just like this beast that you see in this photo. And you're going to find yourself at the receiving end of all of her hatred, all of her vitriol, all of her acts of, just being a complete fucked up, dysfunctional heifer. You're going to be the recipient of all of that if you do not heed my warning. The warning that I gave y'all in that classic warning to white women. I tried to tell y'all. Now, if y'all don't want to heed what I'm telling you, I'm going to do you just like I did these Negroes. And hey, listen. When I give you advice and you don't want to listen, then I'm going to let adversity teach you. I thought I would take the time in this classic to give a brief overview, and I've dealt with this subject in my corporate American hood rats, but a person asked me pertaining to this love, this adoration that the Afro-American bimbo has for this white man, and he asked me, where does that come from? How did this come about? So I thought I would take the time to briefly explain it to y'all, for those of you who are in the dark as to how this all came into being. Now we know that this black bitch has always known that there's white men in America. That's obvious. So, I mean, that's something that don't even need to be stated. But in order for you to completely understand how she actually came into close proximity with this white man, you have to go back and you have to understand a piece of legislation that was signed into law by y'all's first black president, Bill Clinton. And we're all familiar with what took place with Bill Clinton. He getting his dick sucked in the White House by that Jewish intern. We understand that the Republican Party wanted to impeach his ass. They actually did impeach his ass, but the second part of the impeachment was to remove him from office. They didn't have the votes to do that. So they settled with making him a lame duck president. He wasn't going to be able to do nothing. Bill Clinton not wanting to just be a lame duck president, wanting to get something done for his second term, he came to the Republicans and asked them, what is it that we can work together on, to help you, that I can pass, that will get y'all up off me on this impeachment bullshit. They struck out a deal. One of the provisions of their deal was welfare reform. Bill Clinton signed that into law. It's a piece of legislation that the Republican Party had been campaigning on for at least 4 or 5 years. Once Bill Clinton signed welfare reform and made that law, what it basically told women that were sitting on welfare was, listen, your days of sitting on welfare collecting a check is over. Fuck that. You now have to either go back to school, and if you go back to school, if you have children, we will pay for your daycare. You either have to go back to school or you have to get a job. And with that passage of welfare reform sent throngs of Afro-American Negro women not only into trade schools, community colleges, but they also went into the workforce. Once this bitch was entered into the workforce, she then became in close proximity with white men. Now again, she knew white men existed. I mean, we know this. But for the most part, she was confined to urban centers. She had very little contact with white men, if at all. But once she became a part of community colleges, once she was entered into the workforce and found jobs in these corporations or in these offices as a secretary or receptionist, she came in close proximity with white men either as co-workers, supervisors, or bosses. And once this black female came in contact with these white men, she then began to look upon them as a knight in shining armor who could rescue her from her fucking dysfunction that she created in these urban centers. I've been telling y'all this. I've been making this clear in many of my classic videos. Once she has been entered into the workforce, once she is working a job and has a white guy as a boss or a co-worker, what she started to do was she started to throw herself at that white boy. And the reason why she threw herself at the white boy is because she knew that if I can get him in a relationship, if I can get him to impregnate me, most certainly if I can get him to marry me, that is my one-way ticket out of the hood. This is the reason why when you look at it and you take a step back and you view the behavior of the Afro-American woman and how she is always dealing with somebody else's husband. It doesn't matter to her. And this is what I told y'all. I've said that in my warning to white women, this is what I told y'all. It don't matter to the black bitch that the guy is married. It just doesn't. That don't mean nothing to her. Actually, I really believe she would prefer him to be married. At least if he's married, she knows he understands the structure of a family life. So she ain't gonna deal, I mean she will, but for the most part, she's gonna go after guys who are already taken. I told y'all, and I showed y'all the literature that proved that point. In the literature that I showed y'all, the black woman always played the side piece. And she's cool with that. And again, listen folks. These are black women that's writing this shit. So now you would think that if the black female didn't have a problem with being a side piece, and she wrote literature, you would think that she would write literature painting herself and other black women as the wife, as the first choice. That's what you would think. But no, these sisters write all of this literature and they have no problem putting themselves, because they're black women, and other black women as side pieces and second choices. Why is that? And that's completely a rhetorical question, because again, if you've been down this rabbit hole with me, you know why that is. And this again is what I've been trying to tell these monkeys who refuse to see this shit for what it is. If you had a female who actually valued not only her marriage, but the marriage of the guy who I'm making this video towards, we wouldn't even be talking about this. I mean, we would be talking about the rabbit hole, but we wouldn't be talking about a video that has been created by a black woman who's married to a black man with 2 children, making a video to a white man who's married with 3 children. This wouldn't even be the topic of discussion. But because we know that the black female has no problem throwing herself at white men, we've seen the video. We've seen the literature. And the source of all of that foolishness, you can trace it back to a decision to take these black heifers off of welfare and stuff them into community colleges, trade schools, universities, or the workforce. And once this black bitch came into close proximity with this white man, she has been throwing herself at his feet ever since, because she views this white man as the ticket, her one-way ticket out of the dysfunctional Negro community. And this is also the reason why I tell these shines, listen, man, she's not interested in you, dude. She's already gave you a shot. She knows that she's not going to get out of the hood with you. She knows this. She knows that there is no future in fucking around with you, monkey. This is the reason why she don't. She knows that you're not going to be able to provide that White House or that house in the white picket fence, the 2-car garage. She knows she's not going to get that fucking with you. And the reason why she knows she's not going to get that fucking with you is because she's been fucking with you and she hasn't gotten it. This ain't rocket science, folks. And since she has a desire to live that married life, I want a house, a white picket fence, a 2-car garage, since she wants that, since she longs for that. And again, there's nothing wrong with wanting that. There's something most certainly wrong with it when you want to get it at the cost of somebody else's husband. But the black bitch doesn't care about that. It doesn't matter to her. This is the reason why in these corporate offices, and again, and in my corporate American hood rats, I told y'all, listen, if you work in corporate America, if you know somebody who works in corporate America, you can see this shit played out. You ain't got to say nothing. All you have to do is just sit back and watch. And if you sit back and you watch this shit, it's going to be played out right in front of you. You're going to be able to tell what white guy the black woman has her eye on. And I outlined this for y'all. There's a sequel, a chain of events that you can sit back and watch, and you can set your clock to this shit. It's going to start off with her around his office, around his cubicle, just small talk. Then all of a sudden, she's going to come in, she's going to bring him coffee. Then one day you're going to look up and you're going to see that they're sitting together at lunch. After work one day, you're going to see them just standing there talking. And this eventually is going to evolve into a date or him fucking her, if he hasn't already fucked her. It ain't hard. All you have to do is just step back and look at it. Just watch it. And I told y'all again of a sister, and I'm not going to mention her name, and she works at one of these Fortune 500 companies. And her job relocated her to the Midwest. And we still keep in contact. And we would often talk about the black women that they would hire at this company. And she would often tell me how she would try to warn these sisters, listen, don't get involved with these white boys because they're running through these black women. Every black female that they hire winds up getting bent over. And she has gone so far to tell me sometimes that shit takes place right in the parking lot. Now, this is a Fortune 500 company. This ain't no mom and pop establishment. And that's the reason why I told y'all, listen. And when I mentioned to y'all about my Ouija board video, and I haven't even had time to do that, but I'm going to do it because it ties into this. As a matter of fact, I might go on and produce that video next week because it ties in with this whole concept and what takes place in these companies when this black bitch is working in that office. And you have to understand this. I mean, you have to be able to look at it and see it for what it is. This is the reason why I sat back in that classic video and tried to warn this white woman. Listen. Don't defend her. Do not take her into your confidence, and most certainly do not bring her to your home. Because if this black female all of a sudden gains an interest in your mate, she's going after him. And she could care less about you, your children, or your home. It doesn't matter to her. The only thing that matters to this black female is what she sees. And I told y'all this. I told y'all she's just like a child. If you take poison and you wrap it in bright yellow colors and bright red and orange colors, a child is going to want it. They're going to think it's candy. I want that. Because they're going to look at it and they're going to see it visually and they're going to think candy. I want something. Now, this poison. This will kill you. But if you got it, package it right, they're going to think it's candy. Give me some. And if you leave it around them when you're not around, they're going to eat that shit. And that's just how this black female is. She operates on what she sees. She's visual. So when she sees it, if I want it, I'm going after it. It don't matter if he has a husband. He has a wife and 3 children. It don't matter to her. That's the reason why we seen that video from Alicia Keys. It mattered to her. I don't care that he's married with 3 children. I don't care that he's Speaker of the House. I'm going to make this video and I'm going to put it out there for the entire world to view me worshiping and flirting, blowing kisses at this white man, even though I have a husband and 2 children. And when you sit back and try to explain that to this monkey, the first thing this savage is going to do is he's going to sit there and try to argue and fuss with you, because as I told you, black men are fucking stupid. They're fucking dumb. There's just no other way you can get around the stupidity that is better known as black men. They're dumb. They're fucking dumb. And they just can't see how dumb and stupid they make themselves look when you watch these savages on social media. And these monkeys are spending all of their time arguing and fussing with other black men. Every time you turn around, you got this monkey making a video trying to fuss with another black man. This is what these monkeys do. This is what consumes the savage's time. And what speaks volumes to how stupid these Negroes are is because he actually thinks that by me attacking this guy who says negative things about black women, I'm gaining favor in the eyes of black women. No, Negro, no. No. No, you're not. I hate to tell you this. That black bitch does not respect me. And just because you find yourself defending her, she most certainly don't respect you. As a matter of fact, you stupid monkey, she disrespects you, has lesser respect for you than she does me. And the reason why that is because if anybody knows how fucked up black women are, it's black women. Now they ain't gonna admit that shit publicly. They're not gonna say it to me. Well, they don't really need to say it to me. I already know. But they're not going to admit it publicly. But they know themselves when they lay in bed at night and it's just them and their conscience. They know for themselves just how fucked up they are. So when they see you trying to defend them and they know themselves that they are completely fucked up, what level of respect do you think she's going to have for you? So actually, monkey, even though you think you're winning brownie points by attacking me because of the things that I say about black women, she actually has less respect for you because she knows herself that what I'm saying about her is the fucking truth. But you weak, effeminate, dumbass black men just cannot connect fucking dots. Y'all are fucking stupid. And I've been telling y'all this in a lot of these classic videos. You monkeys cannot see the forest for the trees. This is the reason why y'all engage in that stupid shit. I sit back and laugh at y'all because I'm not arguing with you niggas. I'm not going to sit back and waste my time debating and arguing with you monkeys. No, I'm going to just take it and put it right in your face. And that's all I've done. And when I done that shit in my warning to white women, you had those monkeys all up in arms. And instead of those savages going to the black female, they came to me. Which speaks volumes to just how fucked up this Afro-American Negro is. He's dumb. He just doesn't get it. And as I told y'all in Rabbit Hole 32, listen, I'm gonna do what the Ethiopian proverb says. When you try to give them advice and they don't listen, then you let adversity teach them. They don't want to hear and heed your warning, then you let adversity teach them. And this is what I tried to explain to this white female in that classic warning. You think she's your friend? You think she's on your team? You think she has your back? But I'm telling you, I'm warning you, that's not the case. And if you wind up like these monkeys and you don't want to heed my warning and you want to just sweep it under the rug, you want to ignore it, then you do so at your own demise. just like them Negroes do so at their demise. And the black female has completely showed this monkey, I'm not interested in you, dude. I don't have no interest in you. Fuck that. That's the reason why you see these sisters on YouTube, right on YouTube, making all those YouTube videos. I love white men. I love Asian men. This is the reason why I have to get me a white man. This is the reason why I have to get me an Asian man. And this is taking place right there on this very same YouTube that these monkeys spend all of their time making videos arguing with black men. Can't say one word, can't muster up one word of critique for a black female who is literally worshiping the ground that white and Asian men walk on. You won't find these monkeys saying one word. They can't. Even though this black bitch has shown them in no uncertain terms, I have absolutely no respect for your stupid black ass. And I'm going to show you how much respect I have for your stupid black ass, because I'm going to deify white and Asian men right in front of your fucking face. And you dysfunctional monkeys don't have the nuts to be able to call it what it is. So you savages think that y'all actually debunking me or disproving me or proving me wrong. And like I told you, many of those black bitches have more respect for me than they do you, because if anybody knows how dysfunctional, how illogical, how backwards, how stupid black women are, it's black women themselves. So when they hear me say this shit, they don't like it. I don't like that motherfucker. But deep within the corridors of their own mind, they have to admit, you know what? He's right. But then here you come, an ignorant, buffoonish Negro, trying to defend her in all of her debauchery, and she knows she's fucked up. So she's looking at you, but even in less of a light than she looks at me. But you black men are too dumb. Y'all can't see this. I told you savages when I started this Rabbit Hole Classic series, listen, I knew a lot of you savages were not going to be able to process what I was going to show you. I knew this. But I still decided to go down this hole because, as I told y'all in many of my classic videos, God damn it, I can show you better than I can tell you.